Team looking for their first conference win of the season. They would really like to grab it right now and shock the conference. Let's give you our Tachikara starting lineups. First for Stanford and Kevin Hambley in his first season. We already mentioned Alade in the middle. How about Catherine Plummer, National Player of the Year candidate at the outside hitter position, 6'6" and absolutely unstoppable. On the other side for Arizona State, and Sani Tomasevic is in her first season, but she's expecting her first child. So we have Carlos Moreno in his third match as the acting head coach, and he will send his usual lineup to the floor with one change. Aluma Akaro moves to the outside hitter position. So you will see Megan Beattie at the opposite spot, who played well against Oregon in their last match. Teams on the floor inside Wells Fargo, and we're about to get underway. Stanford on the left in black, the Sun Devils in white. Formico with the first serve. Right away to the left side, and that's Aluma Akaro hitting 257 on the year, and a revelation at the pin after being a middle blocker up until this season. Transferred to ASU for last year and changed positions for her senior year. Carmen Intwe, first serve for the Sun Devils. You'll notice the size of Stanford. Dump, picked up by Yeremich. Roll shot and a scramble. ASU, that's what they're known for. That one skids off the defense. Count the backslide kill for Adriana Fitzmaurice. Fitzmaurice, another one of the big players at the net, 6'6". 6'8", 6'6", and 6'6" at times across the front row for the Cardinal. Megan McClure serves that one long, the freshman starter. ASU comes in at 0-10. Stanford comes in at 10-0, although Stanford recently tested by Washington going 5 sets. And coincidentally enough, Arizona State pushed Washington to 5 sets earlier this year. Nicole Peterson, who apparently for the moment has won the setting position. It's competition between her and Shelby Dogmeyer. Back-to-back missed serves. We're tied at 2. In to serve for Stanford, Sydney Wilson, the freshman. Good pass, and Akaro heats it up. This is the second meeting for these teams in this year. First one was at Stanford back on September 27th. The Cardinal with the win. Plummer 13 kills, Alade 6 blocks, 9 kills, in what was a 12-18-24 victory. Pretty typical volleyball match. A couple of not close sets followed by a third that was hotly contested. Into the middle, and you see the range of Tammy Alade, something Kevin Hambley has talked about. She's quite good off 2 feet in front of the setter and up at 10'9", which is high in the women's game. Able to hit the ball with a whole bunch of range. Jenna Gray to the line, the sophomore. Already a national title as a freshman, and she leads the Pac-12 in aces, as well as her team. Doesn't pick up one there, and that's first swing for Beattie. Megan Beattie, another freshman on the floor in this conference, and what an exceptional player you have to be to log time in the Pac-12 as a freshman. Carlos Moreno throwing this little wrinkle at Stanford, hoping to catch him off balance with Beattie on the pin. Yeremich with the pass and a solid swing in the middle. Kill for Peyton Grahovac. Grahovac comes in hitting 291. That is a solid number in women's volleyball. Stanford handles the ball well, and Alade the beneficiary. 5-4, Stanford with the advantage as Plummer will head back. Again, that in front set, Alade's favorite. Catherine Plummer hitting just under 300 in the season. Loretta Lutz, her first kill on the right-hand side. Speaking of players who used to play middle and now are on the pin, Lutz making the transition to opposite. 6'8". Kevin Hambley saying we're just starting to get her in rhythm, figuring out how to get her the ball and make her comfortable on the right side. Off the hands, out of bounds, and a net violation too for Ivana Jeremic, the sophomore out of Serbia, just like her head coach. Jeremic continues to show flashes of brilliance. Her hitting percentage at 146, not stellar, but a number that is rising inside a Pac-12 competition. Service long, Arizona State trying to be aggressive and a few errors early. This will be Morgan Hentz. Libero on the other side for Stanford. Back row, Akaro, and this has proven to be her best spot on the floor. If you want to get Aluma Akaro involved in the offense and in a hitting rhythm, set her the bick out of the back row. Jeremic, tough one deep. Couple of Cardinal on the floor. Transition swing is good on the left-hand side from Akaro. And there's where it's going to rest for ASU in this match. If you want to have success against any top flight team, you need to convert your point scoring opportunities, your transition swings. What an angle that was from Akaro. Senior out of Lakewood, California. First went to USF before transferring to ASU. Boy, beautiful, picture perfect. Put it in the textbook for Megan McClure. Pass and swing. McClure out of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Another player going from SoCal to NorCal. Stanford's all the way around. Kate Formico will serve once again. Diaz in the back row. She goes well long. So Stanford all the way around, but ASU hanging tough. 8-8 here, set one. Kevin Barnett on a Friday night. Thanks for joining me here from Wells Fargo Arena in Tempe. Outside, another powerful swing, and definitely a touch there from McClure once again. Another player whose hitting percentage is not stellar, 181, but also on the rise as she continues to play well and adjust to Pac-12 play. California CIF and state titles coming in. Miss serve, and both teams really trying to crank it up from the line early. And now is 5 service errors between the two teams early in this match. There's a look at Catherine Plummer. KP, as her coach calls her. 6'6", going over the top. Catherine Plummer, just a sophomore, averaging almost 5.5 points per set. Caro deep corner, not to be outdone. So the outside hitters going punch for punch early in this one. Look at Acaro's numbers. The kills per set, surprising enough for a middle blocker, has a terrific arm, but the digs per set for a player that at middle you do not spend a lot of time in the back row. She has been comfortable and effective in the middle back. Plummer, OT once again. And you as a blocker have to resist the urge to reach higher and higher or to hit the net when you're playing against a player like Catherine Plummer. You have to just be steady and wait for her to bring that ball down. Hope she brings that ball down. Great at the line. 29 aces on the season. Jeremic tips. Stanford defense is there. Lutz tips out of bounds. And look at ASU. French fries on the board in set number 1 has to be a success. You know it is on your plate for dinner. Short serve. Trying to work on Plummer. That was the plan coming in. Does not work there. And Alade once again stays in front of the setter and collects yet another kill. Tammy Alade 3 for 3, and it's been all in front of the setter. Jeremic passes tight, and it's Unthwe off a terrific delivery from Nicole Peterson. Well, what can you say about Peterson? Another youngster, just a sophomore. Career high 51 versus Washington in that 5-setter, then 53 versus Utah. Bettering her career mark. The Utah match that was 4 sets but tightly contested. Okay, that ball, yeah, that's one of those situations that has to be one or the other with a back row setter. Either the player contacting the ball from the opponent's side is over, or the setter is charged with a back row attack. The judgment there was back row attack from Jenna Gray. Point ASU, and they're up. Outstanding defense. And they convert. Sun Devils up by 2. This has been the Achilles heel all year long. That's been there. Terrific top flight defense. The question has been, can you convert it to points? Jeremic, stellar high swing. Highly unusual for a team that is winless in conference to lead in a positive category. That is exactly what Arizona State is doing. They are leading in defense in digs per set. Line serve out of bounds. Stanford has been tested as of late, going through UCLA, USC, and Washington before an easier one against Washington State last time out. We've reached the 15-point mark in the first set, and guess what? The Sun Devils, the home side, up on top of Kevin Hambley's Stanford Cardinal.
UCSF Medical Center is recognized as the best hospital in California for neurology and neurosurgery, cancer, orthopedics, kidney care, diabetes and endocrinology, lung and respiratory care. UCSF Health, redefining possible.
The big game, huh? Boy, I wish your mom was here. Instead of over there.
I ain't afraid to say it, go blue. I'll kick it.
She needs this, kids. Mom needs this.
What's up? Just get it done.
Reliving the glory days isn't always rewarding, but Hotels.com is. Unlock instant savings now and earn free nights to use later. Hotels.com.
Sunday, the #1 team in the country takes on the reigning national champions. Stanford, USC, Sunday at 3 on Pac-12 Network.
Set 1 Pac-12 volleyball presented by Tachikara. Arizona State up 2, and in no small measure due to the play of Aluma Akaro. Going to the left side. She's been on the right side for much of this season. All of a sudden on the left, and hugely effective. 5 for 6, hitting 833. A lot of it into the angle, and most of it high and deep. That's the way you hit a volleyball, is in the last couple feet of the court. Even against a well-formed block, perfect situation. The result, Arizona State point. Aluma Akaro continues to be outstanding on the pin. What a move by Sonia Tomasevic and Carlos Moreno to move her from middle to outside. 15-13, set one, ASU with the lead. Backslide. Deep corner is good once again. Adriana Fitzmaurice, and Fitzmaurice is now 2 for 3. Go back to that Washington match where ASU and Carlos Moreno pushed the then top 5 ranked team in the nation to 5 sets. They won the first 2. They were up 2-0. Can they duplicate that here? Well, they'll have to pass the ball to stay on top. Ace serve for Kate Formico, who missed her serve the last time around, the freshman out of Saratoga. Cousin to Taylor Formico, who is now on staff, the volunteer assistant coach and former outstanding Pac-12 libero. Service errors piling up. Already 8 between the two squads. And 5 of those are going to belong to Stanford as Unthwe goes to the line. Spanish middle blocker serves deep. There's a joust at the net with the front row setter, and Acaro scores again. Watch how far Acaro is tucked in here. She's waiting on that backslide. She's going to make a move, perhaps benefiting from her middle footwork that she's so used to doing. She can range further across the net. Get right in front of that setter. Makes the move there, but the backslide is good once again for Adriana Fitzmaurice. Well, and Fitzmaurice, unstoppable. Credit the delivery of Jenna Gray as well. Gray first in Pac-12 in assists per set. Of course, when you are 10-0, you're going to be all over the top levels of the stat categories, individually and as a team. Off the top of the hands and good. Another transition kill for the Sun Devils. Acaro positively unconscious here in the first set. 7 for 8 now. Plummer. OT good. Again, not much you can do about that swing. And this is one of the reasons when you talk about Stanford, it has to be in a national context. Not only the whole round of them, but Catherine Plummer is an unstoppable force when she is in rhythm. Ace serve falls down the line. Oh, reversed. Called in by the linesman initially. Gary Hotnar, R1, up on the stand, overrules. And will we see a challenge? Indeed, it looks like we will. Kevin Hambley up to challenge, a challenge system that is in effect in parts of NCAA women's volleyball and parts of the Pac-12. 8 of the 12 schools in the conference have the challenge system, including Arizona State. A critical point. Right now, it would be 19-17 as it shows here in the arena. Actually, as called, I believe we have it correct, 18-18. Would be 19-17 if Kevin Hambley's challenge is correct. He's challenging if that serve, in fact, did catch the end line. BIU is our R2, and he's going to take a look at this footage. We'll let you decide. Ooh, that's a tough call. Remember, you're going to have enough evidence that you believe you can overrule it. Called in by the linesman, overruled and called out by our R1, Gary Houghton. BIU is back, and the ball is called in. Successful challenge from Kevin Hambley, so he is left with 2 challenges now for the remainder of the match. Remember, in collegiate volleyball, you get 3 total challenges for the entire match. That differs from international play, where you have 2 challenges per set, and you actually get to keep them as long as you're right. So Hambley with the point. That ball skips off of the defense of Hallie Harker, an unusual circumstance, and now it's Stanford up 19-18. Do you take a timeout if you're the Sun Devils? Letting it ride one more time, Carlos Moreno. Pyramid, good pass. Oh, Plummer, look at the angle. That's what 6'6" buys you. This is something that no one is used to seeing, that angle of attack in an off situation. And now we get the timeout from Carlos Moreno. Mentioned that Stanford is the national champion from last year, 2016. Let's take a look back. It was Columbus, Ohio, actually hosted the men's and women's championships back-to-back in the same school year, different calendar years, and it was Texas facing off with Stanford and Inky Ajanaku, who thought she might have had a couple of national titles with the group she came in with. Tore ACL in her then senior season. Her redshirt year produces that 3-1 victory and a national title on her way to the national team. And at Stanford since 1981, a juggernaut. 15 times they have been in the national title match. Think about that number. 7 times they have been victorious, tied with Penn State for first all time. Kevin Hambly hoping to add to that number, certainly possible in this season. Kevin Hambly coming over from Illinois. Could not be happier about what Stanford presents in terms of opportunity to get in incredible volleyball players and incredible people into that school, and what he can offer youngsters from around the nation who have some volleyball talent in terms of their overall life experience. But all that aside right now here in the first set, the question is, if you're Arizona State, what do you have to do to get back a couple of those points that you lost late in this first set in which you have played so well? You have to pass the ball first. Get a good pass, try and run your offense. You have a Carl on the left. She's 7 for 10. Bad pass. Oh, and it falls on the Stanford side. When you don't have the libero there, sometimes there can be confusion. That ball has to be picked up, probably by Formico, who's not running in. She's playing left back. So a break for ASU. ASU felt like they had to serve the ball tough and serve Plummer, trying to serve her into the seam and keep her towards the middle of the court. But they have had their errors so far. 4 service errors in this first set for ASU. Here's Gray, an ace machine. Just long. Well, if you tuned in this same arena for ASU versus UCLA a couple of weeks ago, you saw something that looked more similar to a men's match in terms of service errors. And these two teams are on pace once again. Already 9 errors. Lutz on the left. Actually, her least comfortable spot on the left-hand side, especially with high balls. But that one delivered in rhythm. And Lutz with a detonation. Skips it short, does Catherine Plummer. Opportune time for that serve. 23-20 Cardinal, and second timeout is available and now used by Carlos Moreno. Carlos Moreno, acting head coach for Sonia Tomasevic in her first season, awaiting the arrival of baby Stella, her first child, and it should happen at any time on this weekend. So we could have an announcement either today or in the Cal match coming up on Sunday. Or it could be a little bit longer, unknown at this point, but she is in the window. So we hope that Sonia is resting well and everything is going okay at home. Carlos Moreno has control here inside Wells Fargo. Saturday, time to get hyped for homecoming week. We're bringing you all the action with a Pac-12 conference triple header. First at 11, the Herd will be in full force. Bryce Bobo and the Buffs battle the Bears in Boulder. Say that 3 times. Then at 2:30, put your O's up because the Ducks are ready to put on a show. Utah and Oregon clash in Eugene. And then at 6:30, you haven't gotten off your couch yet. It's not happening then. get ready for a desert swarm. Khalil Tate and the Wildcats ready to go the distance against Washington State. Pac-12 football presented by Red Robin. Coverage begins 10 a.m. with the pregame show on the Pac-12 network. Right now on a Friday night, it's volleyball from Tempe. Arizona State playing an exceptional first set under interim head coach Carlos Moreno. And Macy Gardner assisting him, the all-time kill leader in this program. They have to be happy with what has happened here in the first set, but they would love to get back a couple of easy points the Cardinal have scored here late to have the 23-20 advantage. Plummer, ace last time. Plummer out of the back row long. ASU within 2. Courtney Luffel will come in. She has 7 aces on the season as the Flagstaff, Arizona native. Rattling through the block successfully, Moretta Lutz. Stanford, set point. Lutz, just enough space. Slap deep corner. All starts with the pass. Arizona State hanging tough. Second set point upcoming for Stanford. Yeremich goes back to the line. Akaro, who's been the point scoring machine here in the first, ready for some transition. Can ASU generate another opportunity? They cannot. First set ends on that service error. A valiant performance from the Sun Devils in set 1 against the top team in the conference. 25-22, Stanford up 1-0 in Tempe.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area, home of the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal. Available on Xfinity.
Do you want to answer that?
Nah, I'm never with a kid in the car.
It's okay. I'm not here. I'm there.
Sunday, get ready for back-to-back volleyball. First at 11, UCLA and Washington face off in Seattle. Then at 1, Stanford and Arizona meet in the McHale Center. Coverage begins at 11 on Pac-12 Network. Sunday, join Mike Yam and Ashley Adamson. Keep up with all the major storylines from the Conference of Champions. Only on Pac-12 Network.
Eric Yalowski wins it for the Bruins.
Sports Report, following soccer at sundown.
Coney Island has been around for a long, long time. Reminds me of how Geico has been saving people money for over 75 years.
First date? Hey, big guy, come on in. Let me guess your weight. Win a prize.
Sure, why not?
12 ounces?
Sorry, mate, 4 ounces. I've been taking the stairs lately.
You win, big guy.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Wow, he looks so much more real on TV.
Yeah. Over 75 years of savings and service. Get your rate quote today.
Always have a banana costume in your repertoire. Never know when you might need to break that out, but never under any circumstances eat a banana and a hot dog in the same sitting. That is disgusting. First set goes to Stanford. As we look at our Tachikara score update from around the Pac-12, look at Oregon State. I mentioned that top teams get picked off. Utah in free fall as the Beavers take them out 3-1. USC and Washington locked in a pitched battle. It is 11-7 Washington in the 5th right now. Colorado up on Oregon. Also a surprise, Colorado, another team playing well, and UCLA handling their business in the 1st against Washington State. Lots of terrific action happening all around the Pac-12 conference and in this match. First set had ASU leading 15-13. Oh, a worm in the background. You're going to try and distract Stanford. That's a good place to start. Halloween getting close, and the fans here inside Wells Fargo Arena are into it. Terrific atmosphere, continuing to support their Sun Devils. Yeah, that's a good look. What's on the left there? I'm not sure what costume that is. Maybe someone can chime in and let me know. That's definitely an emoji in the back. Makes me think of the 2012 Olympic Games in London, where it became a thing to wear a costume to the volleyball venue. I wish that happened every Olympics. Well, we've seen that happen already several times tonight. Tammy Alade in front of the setter, collecting a kill. Alade, 4 for 4. That only tells you she should get the ball more. Jenna Gray is going to make those decisions, the setter, sophomore. Decent pass, backslide, some defense from the Cardinal. That to nobody, no swing generated. Plummer on Harker, and then that ball stuffed at the net, but a net violation called on the turn by Nicole Peterson. That could have been a momentum play for ASU early in this set, but a huge net. So Stanford up 2-0. Tough serve. Plummer with some heat. Boy, what a stretch out in the back row by Megan McClure. Middle child of 3 looked like she was breaking up a fight inside the house. Sprawling in between a couple of players to cop that one up. Jenna Gray continues to serve 3-0 Stanford. A serve in the corner, the hybrid. Everybody likes a Toyota Prius and its gas mileage. Nobody likes this serve. Half spin, half float, all heat to the corner. 4-0 Cardinal. Do you call a timeout if you're ASU? You don't have to. Miss serve. Jenna Gray, second in the Pac-12 in aces per set, leading her team now with 30 aces on the season. Image down the line. Beautiful save by Gray out of the back row. And Alade continues her perfect performance. 5 for 5, all off the same set. And Kevin Hambley said in this league, a lot of teams are leaving the middles 1-on-1, and we like that. Plummer trying to drive that one down, miss serve. Service error is now 8 for Stanford. They carry the 5-2 lead here in the second set. Thanks for joining me, Kevin Barnett. Inside Wells Fargo Arena, watching Kevin Hambley in his first season. Already 10 wins, 10-0, undefeated in Pac-12 play. Boy, that one set to the net perfectly. Backslide, defense from Plummer. Offense from Moretta Lutz. So that's a 6'6" defender to a 6'8" attacker. This is why when you talk about Stanford, they are evaluated compared to the other teams in the national picture. Penn State, Texas, Nebraska, Minnesota. They have an unstoppable player in Plummer. They have the blocking ability and the size to compete with anyone. Adding to that the service pressure. They are #1 in the conference in aces per serve as a team. And they are headed for another appearance in the Final Four in Kansas City this year. A potential national title team. Nice inside blast. 8 for 11, Aluma Akaro. She's headed for a Pac-12 All-Star selection. The All Pac-12 team comes out. You're going to see number 18 on it. Defense from the Sun Devils converted. Peyton Grahovac, who went 8 for 9 versus Stanford the last time. 889. Hasn't received as many opportunities, but nevertheless taking advantage. 2 kills on 4 swings. Another opportunity. Akaro off the hands and out of bounds. The aggressor. The Sun Devils, they're back to within 2. Remember, this set opened 4-0 in favor of Stanford. Short serve again. Trying to get rid of that left front attacker, and they do. Unfortunately for ASU, Moretta Lutz is on the right. Lutz, a player that's peaking right now, going up and up in her performance. I want to welcome those of you that have watched the USC-Washington match. Welcome to Tempe, Arizona, inside Wells Fargo Arena. I'm Kevin Barnett, sitting courtside, enjoying Stanford and ASU. Had a competitive first set. ASU led at the midway point, only to lose 25-22. An early run from Stanford had them up, but ASU behind defense galore and some good transition hitting has come back within 2 and now make it 3 with that net violation. So it's 9-6 for the number 2 team in the nation. We've already had one challenge in this match. It was a successful challenge by Kevin Hambley on an ace serve that was called out. And now we have Carlos Moreno who will make a challenge. I would suspect he will challenge the net violation called against his team. First season as assistant coach and interim head coach, acting head coach is Carlos Moreno. Carlos Moreno out of Brazil. He said, listen, the players are getting the same things, the same themes, just with a different accent. Sonny Tomasevic from Serbia, Carlos Moreno from Brazil, from an incredible volleyball family. His father, Antonio, a 4-time Olympian. And Carlos said in his house, if you didn't go to practice, you didn't eat dinner. It was that simple. I don't think Carlos missed many dinners because he would go to BYU and pick up a national title and become the ABCA Player of the Year. And they will call a net violation on this one. That's kind of a sketchy area. If the ball hits the net and then hits you in the arms, you get charged with the net violation. So down to 2 challenges are each of the 2 teams. And Stanford remains at 9-6 with Megan McClure at the line. Freshman starter, new to this team, which started so many freshmen last year in what was a national championship rise. Plummer, deep pokey, that was a beach move. More defense, this time from the Cardinal. Oh, poorly handled ball. But when you have a Player of the Year type player, you can just throw it out there and let her clean it up. Sanitational engineering major, Catherine Plummer. Taking out the trash on the left-hand side. Stanford up 4. Aramich again. continuing to swing hard. Oh, what a beautiful read in the back row. Ball off the block and out of bounds. But Morgan Hentz, Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week, made an absolute gem of a play down the left-hand line. Aramich just wide. Do you call a timeout? Has to be going through the mind of Carlos Moreno at 12-6. Dump into the middle of the floor, and that one's good for Greg. 13-6. These are those opportunities where maybe you can just let your team play, let them learn on the fly. Carlos Moreno said he was excited about the challenge. His team was excited about the challenge of facing Stanford, part of the beauty of playing in this conference. Deep corner, run down. Hallie Johnson ran it down. Popped up with one hand. Johnson again is there. Kill out of the middle. Playing Stanford's like fighting Mike Tyson. You're going to face a flurry of hard punches, and you somehow have to find a way to counterpunch. ASU doing that. Excellent backcourt play once again, led by the conference's #1 defensive player, Hallie Harker. Outstanding. Inside Plummer off the block. Using the edge, the left hand of Unthwe. Catherine Plummer, 302 kills coming in. Next player on the floor, 143. Question has arisen, are you using Catherine Plummer too much? If you're a player like Catherine Plummer, you probably don't feel like you are. Set me all the time. There's a block. We haven't seen too many blocks in this match. In fact, that is the very first. Stanford, the #1 blocking team, finally with their first stop. This has been an offensive exhibition on both sides, and Stanford continuing to crank that up. 15-8. The Cardinal looking like #2 in the nation in the second set.
You understand what's at stake, right? Yes, sir. The more you win, the more is at stake. Because you've won a couple games now, you got some more at stake.
Saturday, get hyped for homecoming week. We're bringing you all the action with a Pac-12 Conference triple-header. First at 11, the Herd will be in full force. Bryce Bobo and the Buffs battle the Bears in Boulder. Then at 2:45, put your O's up. The Ducks are ready to put on a show. Utah and Oregon clash in Eugene. And at 6:30, Khalil Tate and the Wildcats are ready to go the distance against Washington State. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. with the pregame show on Pac-12 Network.
For over a century, the Pac-12 has been a catalyst for collective excellence, an extraordinary blend of 12 unique universities. Combined, we elevate team chemistry to an art form. As future leaders and global game changers, Pac-12, the Conference of Champions.
Tonight on Inside Pac-12 Football, join Mike Yam and the guys for a breakdown on all the week's gridiron action, all the big plays, upsets, and matchups. Inside Pac-12 Football, tonight on Pac-12 Network.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
Pac-12 honorable mention last year, and all Frosh Pac-12 Morgan Hentz, part of that fabulous freshman class at the libero spot, is the reigning defensive player of the week in the Pac-12 Conference. Plays like that, 19-17 against the Washington schools and setting up opportunities for others. Plummer, the beneficiary there. And It's also good if you're a defensive player to have two-time Libero of the Year in the conference, Taylor Formico, as your assistant coach. And Kevin Hambley said that Morgan Hens is definitely benefiting from the relationship, the advice, and the experience of that woman there, joining the staff fresh off of her exceptional volleyball career. Defense, the name of the game for ASU. Stanford matching them so far, 16 apiece. Digs for each of the teams. I'm Kevin Barnett. Thanks for tuning in. There's some more evidence. Hens. Oh, and a block. So no blocks through 1.5 sets. Now we've had nearly back-to-back, one for each team. Jeremic and Untwe, I think both got a piece of that one. One block for each team now. Plummer right side. Boom. The number of balls that are hit with pace from the Stanford side are remarkable. Every one of their hitters, a solid arm. Another tough serve. That ball has to go. Caro again, no, it's backslide. And a net violation. This has been the story for ASU this season. They have played stretches of quality volleyball, top quality volleyball. The kind of volleyball that wins matches in Pac-12, but they haven't played enough of it inside of matches, inside of individual sets to have the success that they want. Their coaching staff feels like the work has been put in and they deserve a win based on their work. It's going to happen soon. Down the line, kill. Number 4 in black, Megan McClure, captain of her volleyball and softball teams at Santa Margarita Catholic. And bringing all that in her first season at Stanford. Passing and swinging, not an easy job in this conference. Haluma Caro. Watch her unfold at the top here. Look at how high she hits that ball. That's been a trademark this season, is the heat and the height of the attacks from number 18. Right side error, missed by Lutz. So just like that, the Sun Devils have worked themselves back into this second set, reasonably close at 17-12. Certainly carrying some momentum. Can they continue to serve the ball in? Indeed, and tough. Lutz gets an opportunity to make up for the miss, and she does just that. And you love that. If you're a hitter, you love this. You love to get the ball right back when you just hit it out of bounds. You get an opportunity to atone, and it shows the faith your setter has in you, makes you feel good as a player. And these service errors are not making either of the coaches feel good. Stanford now with 10. 5 on the other side for Arizona State. Now, mind you, Stanford has 4 aces. That's a pretty good number. No aces yet for ASU. That ball's tight and just thrown down, but a collision under the net, and Jeremic is down. Oh, that hurts. And this is the sport of volleyball right here, especially close plays. Oh, and as an ex-player, I hate to watch that. Adriana Fitzmaurice was a bit under the net. And especially if you've done it before, it hurts even worse the next time you do it. Carlos Moreno looks on as his outside hitter. Ivana Jeremic is down. We'll be back.
Alana Smith. I'm majoring in psychology and I play women's basketball at Stanford. The transition from Australia to California actually wasn't that bad. I think California is probably one of the most similar places to Australia. Balancing school and basketball is always a learning process. I mean, I think everyone on our team is continuously trying to do that. Our academic advisors are awesome. They help us with everything, so that's been really cool for me.
Smith feeling it, aggressive offensively, splits a couple of defenders.
My proudest moment for us as a team was when we beat Notre Dame to get into the Final Four. That was incredible. I'd never been. It was just unreal to be able to do that and make it to the Final Four. I'm Alana Smith. Go Card.
Second set action, Ivana Jeremic, sprained ankle, stepping on the foot of Adriana Fitzmaurice in a tight play at the net, and she is off the floor but still in obvious pain. Everyone who plays this sport, has played this sport, remembers that and just shudders at watching that happen to anyone. Tough break for the sophomore outside hitter from Serbia. And into the match in her place steps Izzy Miller, senior. And maybe taking advantage of that is Adriana Fitzmaurice, knowing she probably wouldn't have to go to the left. She commits on Peyton Grahovac. Oh, I take that back. That's a read and a good one. And a good reach. So a timeout called off of that stuff block. It's 20-13. And we will have timeout for ASU. Stanford with a solid advantage here in the second. More Cardinal volleyball is available for your enjoyment coming up on Sunday as they make their trip across Arizona. They will be in Tucson. Face off with Arizona Sunday at 1. That'll be 2 Mountain. Pac-12 women's volleyball presented by Tachikara. Right now, Stanford's focus on this second set. Kevin Hambley and the crew definitely with the advantage here in the second, 20-13. Talked to Kevin Hambley before this match started. Got an update on some of the things he's asked this team to do. Bunch read is a little bit different. Some of the footwork is a little bit different than what was taught before. And he said he just can't believe the progress they're making every day. They're getting better. They're putting in the work. And they put in a ton of work at school as well through the Stanford Cardinal. He said the demands that he sees on his players are unlike those that he's seen before. The things that they talk about, the majors that they have, said it's just more information and less sleep for his athletes. But he has a group that is getting it done both in the classroom and on the floor. Right side Beatty. High hands Plummer. Boy, Catherine Plummer, we've called her name plenty. Haven't detailed the numbers for you. 14 for 20, 1 error, hitting .650, 4 digs and an ace in just 2 sets. Miller's first swing is a tip. Plummer, that was not. Heat from number 2. Plays beach as well. Terrific beach athlete in addition to her indoor stuff. And the real deal, if you talk to anyone around the nation about potential national team athletes and future Olympians, Catherine Plummer comes up in the conversation for indoor as well as beach. At 6'6", a wonderfully proportioned athlete. And you have to ask the question, much like you do with 7-footers on the men's side of volleyball and basketball, about injuries and durability. And Catherine Plummer, remarkably durable. No issues at all. Looking forward to an incredible run of good volleyball from her. Let's give you an idea of what Catherine Plummer's done in this match. 15 kills, And so many of them have been just straight over the top of the block. There's just no stopping that. Good stop there, and an angle straight down, taking advantage of the fact that there was no block present. But even when it has been, Plummer has proven able to work off the hands, out of bounds, shown range, line, angle. Very little that this sophomore cannot do at the net or anywhere on the volleyball floor. Yeah, Kevin Hambley said her numbers on the go, and that would be in rhythm on the left-hand side with some pace. She's hitting .450 on the season. Give you an idea, a player hitting near 300 on the pin is a good number. .450 is out of this world spectacular. Cardinal looking for a 2-0 advantage. They are 3 points away. Kevin Barnett on a Friday night here in Tempe. Hope you're enjoying volleyball. There's a lot of it going on this time of year. We're just into the second half of the season. Cardinal with the serve. Opportunity for transition, but nobody there for the second contact. ASU with the point. If you're ASU, you're just looking for some momentum right now. You want to score a few real points. You'd like to serve, get a transition, get a kill. If you get somewhere around the 18-19 mark, you feel pretty good going into the third. But it won't happen with serving out.
That's okay, Denver. Let's go. Start measuring.
Blake Sharp into serve, a freshman out of Orinda, California. Debuted against Texas A&M earlier this year. Her second set appearance in the season, and that ball goes way long. Pumped up to be in the match. Kevin Hambley with a slight look of disgust despite the lead. Alade stopped for the first time in this match. However, the setter, Jenna Gray, has 2 kills and does not get stopped on the second opportunity. Set point for the Cardinal. Covered out of the middle, Alade can't put it away. ASU with the point, and the crowd is right back into it. One set point save. Have to save quite a few more. Bad pass, that'll help. Stuff block to finish set number 2. ASU with a little momentum late, but not enough. End of the second set. Chris Francis coming up with the intermission report as we'll take a little. Plummer with that 6:09 mark, already bettering her mark from the first match between these two teams in which she had 13 kills. On the other side, for ASU, who has played some top-level volleyball, Aluma Akaro has been tops among all. The former Sun Devil middle, now outside hitter, who's been playing opposite but started at outside for this one, has 10 kills, hitting .529, and she's been scoring some points too. That all-important transition game that they put so much work in on with Carlos Moreno and Sonny Tomasevic. Trying to score points. They've done it several times. And that first set, 25-22, was hotly contested right to the end. 25-16, a little bit more distance in the second. Will Akaro get the ball more here in the third is the question. We look at our Tachikara scoring update. And you get an idea how this match has gone. It was very offensive for a long time. There were no blocks until around the 15-point mark of the second set, and even now there are only 3, which is a paltry number. 4 aces for Stanford, also a battle they are winning, but it comes along with 11 service errors. I'm Kevin Barnett, courtside here at Wells Fargo Arena, flying solo tonight. And in honor of the spirit of the World Series and Vin Scully, who did my job for 60 years, it's time for Pac-12 volleyball here in the third. Kevin Hambly, first season as the head coach, 10-0 coming into this match, 2-0 in the match. Last time the Sun Devils took a set from Stanford, it was 2015. Can they extend this match? We will find out. Stanford in black, Sun Devils in white. Acaro, that's a good place to start. Give your hot hitter the ball. And you should just ride her a little bit at the beginning of this set. See if her numbers can continue at the same level and see if she can hit your way to some pressure on the Stanford Cardinal. Olintwe gets the plumber. Good set, right person. Result not there yet. But the block is. Just the second block of this match. For ASU, and it's a one-on-one by the former middle blocker. Caro perfectly positioned. 2-2 the blocks, 2-0 the score. This 10-minute break can play with you, can play with your mind. Got the plumber again with that deep corner serve. That one looked like it was in. Go to Acaro. Or go the other side. Grahovac. When you have a player who hit 8 of 9 against Stanford last time and hits 291 on the season, good to get her involved, the 6'2" junior. ASU starting 3-0 here in the third. Izzy Miller starting the third set in place of Ivana Jeremic, who went down with a badly sprained ankle during that second set. That ball waffled out of bounds. If you're ASU, it's never too late to get some waffles. And you hope it's Catherine Plummer that's serving them. Olintwe continues the run. Overpass. Put away. Yes, indeed. What a start to set number 3 for Arizona State. It's 5-0. Will they force Kevin Hambly's hand? Indeed they do. It is amazing what that 10-minute break can do to shift the momentum of a match. Sun Devils, 5-0.
Home of the Stanford Cardinal. You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
Do you want to answer that?
Nah, I'd never with a kid in the car.
It's okay. I'm not here. I'm there.
Sunday, get ready for back-to-back volleyball. First at 11, UCLA and Washington face off in Seattle. Then at 1, Stanford and Arizona meet in the McHale Center. Coverage begins at 11 on Pac-12 Network.
This Pac-12 women's volleyball match is presented by Tachikara. We've got the ball, you bring the game. A beautiful time of year to spend some time in Tempe, the greater Phoenix area. Once the sun goes down, it is gorgeous And it is time for some volleyball being beautifully played in this third set by the Arizona State Sun Devils and Aluma Akaro. She and her teammates off to a hot start here in the third, 5-0 against the number 2 team in the nation. Kevin Barnett courtside. First 2 sets went to Stanford, but it was competitive, especially in the first. 25-22, 25-16. Victories for Stanford. So far in the thirds, after the break, all Arizona State. Plummer off the net, Doug. Oh, the flipper! Moretta Lutz finally comes back and puts it away. First point of the third for the Cardinal. And it has been defense that's carried the day for Arizona State. Not only first contact, but second as well. All-out effort. Oh, that ball well inside. High ball left side. Turn. Lawful with the dig. Looks like Tyson and Holmes or something here. Tyson Spinks. A big right hand. Michael Spinks never did that. (6-1). Peyton Grahovac collects that kill. That's her 6th. She's hitting .500. Terrific rotation for the Sun Devils. 3 hitters up, 2 of your best. Here comes Akaro. There goes Akaro, another kill. 12 now. Who would have thought Aluma Akaro would be matching Catherine Plummer kill for kill in this 2017 season? 7-1 Sun Devils. Short serve. This has worked before. Oh, you gotta love Megan McClure. Takes a little off. That's the first time I've seen her take any steam off the ball at all. She's been cranking that thing down the line. McClure at 6 feet tall. A pistol of a right hand. Another kill for Grahovac. What a match she's having once again against Stanford. She loves the challenge of playing the Cardinals, the junior out of Orange, California. Continues to be an incredibly offensive match. Just 4 blocks between the 2 teams, 2 each. Parker with the dig. Peterson runs there. And does Miller get in on? She does. The sub, Izzy Miller. San Diego Mesa College transfer who started her career way back in 13 at Boise State. Called off the bench and delivers for Carlos Moreno. Miller again, this time Doug. Oh, down the line. Peterson with her helmet on. Stanford just too much heat. Time and again, big swings. And how about Nicole Peterson standing in the right back? Miller lays the platform out. Oh, what a read. And the ball's out of bounds. It's not only the movements, it's also the pre-read that's necessary. Seeing the game at another level. Look at Hentz. Was crawling up under the block. Quick reactions and a beautiful left-hand contact. Oh, one of those swings. You love the contact, you love the sound, but it just misses for Megan Beatty. With ASU, you see the potential. You see the ages of the players. You see the spurts of top-level volleyball. This is a program that's rising for the moment, facing an extremely difficult test, and that is an incredibly challenging swing. Especially when you're not a seasoned pin hitter. To have to go inside out on the right-hand side is one of the toughest swings for a right-hander. Hopefully Beatty shakes that one off. Talk about the direction of the program at ASU. It is not an exaggeration to say that it was a bit of a disaster last year. By the end of the season, kind of a dumpster fire, and it has been sprayed out by Sonia Tomasevic and her new crew. Carlos Moreno, Macy Gardner, one of the all-time greats. It's about process and making progress every day, and in the spring even, they started back then, went out kayaking, and they paired up the players. First round, they had one paddling, one riding in the kayak. Then they had one paddling, dragging one oar was what the other person was doing. Then they had two paddling backwards together. Then they had two paddle forward. And the whole idea was to get the players on board with all rowing the same direction to make some progress in the program. And she said the kids got it. That's what Sonia Tomasevic said. The kids understood what it was all about without having to have it be explained. And it's not about wins or losses, really. If you're making progress, you'll feel good about your program. And you're always hitting new milestones. And making the wins and losses simply not matter. They do not define your value in a season, and they are not defining the value for the Sun Devils this year. Have they been playing good volleyball in spurts? Absolutely they have. Will the wins and losses column reflect the overall quality of what's happening here? Well, not this season. But it's in the future. And it's in this set right now. 9-6. Block in the middle once again. Grahovac scores again, this time on the defense. Ten, 6, ASU with the lead. This is looking remarkably similar to set number 1. Oh, the block touched and not put over. Miller with the stuff. 6th block of the year for number 7. Channeling that ball just back to the line. Already one timeout called for Stanford. Parker hangs in. Fearless defense. Parker again. Crowd calling it out, looking for a U. Not getting it there. Miller, tough opportunity against a huge Stanford block. Jenna Gray, 6'1", big at the setter position. Next to Fitzmaurice, who goes 6'6". There you got to just try and wipe it out or hit it high off the hands. Not a lot of options. Better opportunity, but just out. ASU continues to dig balls. Stanford creeping closer. Miller keeps that one in. Plummer puts that one away. Catherine Plummer, 16 kills, hitting .433. She's been stopped just 3 times with the ball out of bounds or into the ball. Continuing to serve Miller. Fitzmaurice, who was so good on that backslide earlier, this time in front of the setter. Now 7 kills. As Stanford hits a torrid 402 so far in the match. Hard to argue with that. They hit 432 last time these two teams met in that 3-0 sweep. So Stanford's won 5 sets in a row over ASU in this season. Carmen Untue gets the kill. Transfer from American University out of Madrid, Spain. Part of a whole bunch of international athletes in this program. Jeremic, who we saw earlier from Serbia, another Serbian on the roster, but in the university broadly. Net violation goes against ASU there. Broadly, there is a lot of international participation. Golfer from Spain, diver from Finland, 22 Canadians in the athletic department for the Sun Devils. Warm weather have anything to do with it, Canada? Maybe. Summers in the Great White North and winters here in Tempe. That sounds like a good plan. Peterson gets a rare swing. And that's not rare at all. Another kill by Plummer, 18 of them now. ASU lost a bit of momentum. We're tied at 12. Oh, that ball was flat. You could read Adidas on it. Net violation, though, saves ASU. That's how you want to hit a float serve. You want to be able to read the writing on the ball. Yeah, no question about that net there. It catches the air currents, does the ball when it has no spin, just like a knuckleball, like a Candiati or a Wakefield. Or a Raleigh Fingers. I think he was a knuckleball. We'll check with the truck on that. Right side, Lutz. Truck is telling me that Raleigh Fingers, not a knuckleballer, just the best mustache ever. Be remiss, though. Oh, hang on. Challenge card.
I don't think you can challenge the over. We tried that at Colorado. They said no, yeah.
That was Marita Lutz chiming in.
Like, you can tell if they're over or not. Yeah.
You can't challenge being over. Yeah, Marita Lutz saying, we tried that at Colorado, it didn't work. I think that was Lutz we were picking up. Talking to Kevin Hambley. In any case, the delay perhaps good. Many ways to ice the server. Calling a challenge being one of them. Even just faking calling a challenge being another one of them. I like coaching strategy. I like anything in the game that's a little bit different, that you can alter the flow. So much of volleyball is so homogeneous from first point to last point. You can ask Alexa, what does homogeneous mean? I'm sure she can tell you. Plummer back to serve, her team trailing by 1, but leading 2 sets to none. Tough floater deep into the corner on Harker. And another big swing by Aluma Akaro. We talked about fearless defense and standing in. This has been fearless hitting all season long by Akaro with a whip of an arm. 13 kills, hitting .500 against the best blocking team in the conference. One of the top blocking teams in the nation. Again with the kill, Akaro. Go back to the first swing for Stanford there. It was Alade going behind. That's not her favorite place to be. And ASU took advantage of that. She tipped, and eventually ASU with the point. And now the ace, Peterson cranks it up. Peterson's 7th ace on the season. And And that is the first ace of this match for ASU. Lots off the handiwork. Using the equipment, it's 18-14. One timeout remains for Stanford. Now might be the time. Yes, says Kevin Hambley. Kevins think alike. 18-14. ASU. Be the first time in 2 years they took a set off Stanford.
Hi, I'm Alana Smith. I'm majoring in psychology and I play women's basketball at Stanford. The transition from Australia to California actually wasn't that bad. I think California is probably one of the most similar places to Australia. Balancing school and basketball is always a learning process. I mean, I think everyone on our team is continuously trying to do that. Our academic advisors are awesome. They help us with everything, so that's been really cool for me.
Smith feeling it, aggressive offensively, splits a couple of defenders.
My proudest moment for us as a team was when we beat Notre Dame to get into the Final Four. That was incredible. I'd never been. It was just unreal to be able to do that and make it to the Final Four. I'm Alana Smith. Go Card.
Inside Wells Fargo Arena, it's 18-14 here in the third. ASU with the advantage. Let's look at some of the other upcoming matches you want to tune in for. This is big picture stuff inside the Pac-12. Stanford at Washington. That went 5 just a little while ago. Utah, who's on a 3-match skid right now. They face off with the schools in LA. And then Stanford and Utah. Can't wait for that. Number 1 and 2. Now nationally, Kentucky and Florida, SEC title on the line there. Texas and Kansas, Big 12 title on the line there. And anyone playing Penn State, Wisconsin and Minnesota. And then Texas and Baylor, who has been a surprise in the Big 12. All of those you want to tune in for, as the coverage of women's volleyball has never been better, and it's better nowhere in the country than it is here on the Pac-12 Network. Thanks for tuning in here on a Friday night. Conference of Champions, and that is definitely the case in volleyball as the defending champions are in a battle in the third set. Akaro out of bounds again, and ASU continues the run. 19-14. It's been Aluma Akaro powering the offense here in the third set. 15 kills, hitting .519. Akaro again. Why not? Out of bounds. 20. No timeouts for Stanford. This is an 8-2 run. We were tied at 12. Peterson all over the roll. Akaro puts butter on it. Gone line out a few times, that time going hard cross court, showing range with 17 kills and .550. Tough serve. Ace! Second of this turn from Peterson. 8 aces now on the season. How about that? A quarter of her total just in this one rotation, 22-14. The run now 10-2. Miller with the defense this time. Well, everybody's getting in on the action for ASU. Oh, Akaro was feeling it. Finally, Stanford gets a hold of her. But that was a 10-2 run to seize control of this third set. Back-to-back blocks. Is it too late for Stanford with ASU just 3 points to go? It would take a collapse reminiscent of Minnesota and Michigan State earlier this year for this set not to go for ASU. Quick into the middle, another point. Well, ASU all of a sudden on the defensive. Good coverage, no swing. ASU wins the long rally, and they're 2 points away. .23-17, Akaro to the back row now. Remember how effective she is out of the back middle, though. Stanford all of a sudden bringing the middle to bear, finally getting the ball up to the net. Fitzmaurice with the kill. Fitzmaurice with 9, that's a good sign. Alade with 5, hitting .556. But if you're Stanford, you probably want the middles a bit more involved, looking towards the third set. Ormico served a few long, that one was good. Back one, wide left. 23-19, Stanford scratching and clawing. Set point for ASU. Allie Harker, the senior. The dunk, yes indeed. Saw that coming from a ways away. Set point number 2 for ASU. Cross court, dug up. Another sprawling effort by Hentz. Backslide is good for Fitzmaurice. So we'll go to our third set point. 24-21. Still one timeout for ASU. McClure at the line. Touch, McClure with the dig. Plummer, tough swing into the middle of the net, and that'll do it in the third. 25-21, the home crowd loves it. ASU pushing another top team in the conference to extra sets. Fourth is on its way.
Sunday, the #1 team in the country takes on the reigning national champions. Stanford, USC, Sunday at 3 on Pac-12 Network.
Hi, I'm Jenna Gray, and I play indoor volleyball, beach volleyball, and throw the javelin at Stanford. Being a 3-sport athlete at Stanford takes a lot of moving parts, communication amongst the teams, the coaches, teachers, and everything. Definitely playing the 3 sports, I've had to miss out on some stuff. I practice once a week with the track team. Volleyball is my priority, so I've missed a lot of meets. But all the coaches have been super accommodating and super understanding of my schedules and what I can do, what I can't do. I chose Stanford because they have such great volleyball tradition, and then also academics was extremely important to me. My mom was a teacher, so she always wanted me to push myself in school, and Stanford seemed like the perfect place to do that. Definitely, I'd say the biggest culture shock coming from Kansas would be the food out here. It's more expensive, it's definitely a lot healthier, so I've had some struggles with that, and my teammates all make fun of me for it too. I'm Jenna Gray, go Card!
You're going to have adversity in your life, and you got to approach it with a mentality that you can get through anything.
Here we go, full speed!
We're going to give everything we got, and we're never going away.
Talent alone isn't going to get you where you want to go.
1, 2, 3,
We're going to outwork everybody.
push, push!
We're out there to ball out. Everybody in the team's on the same page.
We're hungry. When we hit the field, it's all business.
Every single play!
Sunday, join Mike Yam and Ashley Adamson. Keep up with all the major storylines from the Conference of Champions. Only on Pac-12 Network.
Eric Yalowski wins it for the Bruins!
Sports Report, following soccer at sundown.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
Do the sprinkler, do whatever. Get pumped about ASU volleyball inside Wells Fargo Arena. Kevin Barnett back once again here in Tempe, where ASU won the third behind the right arm of Aluma Akaro. She's been doing it all year long and continuing to do it at an even higher level in that third set, going through the block, 17 kills, hitting 500. It was seam, it was line. It was anything you wanted it to be, including cross-court heat. That one off the 6'8" Moretta Lutz, and just swinging without fear is Aluma Akaro. There's the winner. We're right in front of Morgan Hens. And an outstanding third set from Akaro. Look at her numbers and her teammates. Boy, the defense continues to be absolutely on point for ASU. They have 40 digs. And that third set, they started converting them. Understand the men's wrestling team is in-house. Some of these guys that are dressed up off the end line. Some of the women and men here getting into the Halloween spirit. This is just a few days away. Good to see the young fans getting in the ASU spirit. A renewed focus for Macy Gardner, now assistant coach for ASU, about recruiting locally. Gardner, a local product. And ASU would like to mine Arizona. It is ripe with volleyball talent, indeed. Here we go in the fourth. Kill right side. Stanford already off to a better start here in the fourth than they were in the third. It was 5-0 before Stanford got on the board in the third set. That third set, the first time in over 2 years that Arizona State has defeated Stanford in a set. Going all the way back to October 2nd of 15. Plummer, deep corner. Boy, that looked like almost a beat shot with heat. Coming from such a high point. Plummer continues her own exceptional play. 19 kills, hitting .429, 5 digs, a block, and an ace. Blocking still just 4-4, 8 total in this match. Good pass. Backslide kill. Gotta love the fire from Unthwe. Regular starter in 17 after not a ton of experience in 16, just 26 kills. Since Ivana Jeremic went out of this match, Sun Devils have rallied around that cause, just played without conscience. Defense, dump, good. No fear. Another stretch of good volleyball coming out of the Sun Devils. Terrific read by Unthwe. Plummer sets and fires. No steps, no matter. Kevin Hambley said her volleyball IQ is something that's fun to experience as a coach. She's just thinking one step ahead of everybody else. And that from a coach in Kevin Hambley, who already has one player on the national team, Michelle Barch. Michelle Barch-Hackley, who you may have watched this summer play substantial time at outside hitter during Grand Prix after her time at Illinois for this man. What a lucky situation for Kevin Hambly. Is why he moved from Illinois, was the opportunity to take over the national title holder in a stocked national title team, a group of freshmen and young players, along with some good veterans. You don't get that often when you're changing programs, as Lutz asserts herself on the right. That was straight down. Oh, 6'8" in the women's game, equivalent in the men's game to about, go 7'3", 7'4". Stanford starting to pick up the net play. Roll shot is good. On that rally, you get a feel for the volleyball IQ and the maneuverability of Catherine Plummer. Fleet of foot at 6'6", which is equivalent to a 7-footer in the men's game, playing that middle back spot. Touch on the linesman, but that doesn't count as in. I'm not sure if you can turn your back. You're supposed to stand and take that one. Good signal, though. Now we have a timeout. Some sort of delay here on the floor. That ball definitely long. A challenge for a touch on that ball. Again, the linesman doesn't count. For those noobs who just tuned into volleyball. If you just tuned in, Stanford 25-22, 25-16, followed by an ASU third set win, 25-21. Looking for the touch on the outside by Maretta Lutz. BIU. Our R2 along the scorers table, checking out the video. This is dissimilar from the international system where you have dedicated cameras and a dedicated system. They are working off the same feed that you are seeing on the broadcast and attempting to make a judgment. We had one call overturned earlier. Kevin Hambly had a ball that was called out with his team serving. Later, upon review, called an ace. You have the challenges, you may as well use them. Especially when you get this much time out of it. Ball's out of bounds, no touch. The original call confirmed. If you're curious, and even if you're not, I'm going to tell you. Total matches last year, 360 that were tracked with the challenge system. 912 challenges last year. There's a touch. That's an average of 2.5 per match. Now, if you want to know the outcome, decisions were reversed 340 times. Decisions were confirmed 395 times. You're looking at almost the same. Video is inconclusive 171 times. And the video failed 6 times. I'm not sure I want to know what happened there. But this is something new to college volleyball and not in every match. Stanford block once again big, and that is starting to be a factor, both in stuff blocks but also in touches. That's now 6 blocks for Stanford. Bad pass. You never want to pass the ball to the left front. That is the Bermuda Triangle of volleyball. If you're trying to get a second contact and that ball has gone up to position 4, your team is in trouble. Five aces for Stanford and a 5-point lead in the 4th. ASU timeout.
Saturday, get hyped for homecoming week. We're bringing you all the action with a Pac-12 conference triple header. First at 11, the Herd will be in full force. Bryce Bobo and the Buffs battle the Bears in Boulder. Then at 2:45, put your O's up. The Ducks are ready to put on a show. Utah and Oregon clash in Eugene. And at 6:30, Khalil Tate and the Wildcats are ready to go the distance against Washington State. Coverage begins at 10 a.m. with the pregame show on Pac-12 Network.
Team chemistry. It's not something you're given, but something you earn in the classroom and on the field. Practice executed perfectly until victory happens. These are the elements of excellence. Pac-12, the Conference of Champions.
Tonight on Inside Pac-12 Football, join Mike Yam and the guys for a breakdown on all the week's gridiron action, all the big plays, upsets, and matchups. Inside Pac-12 Football, tonight on Pac-12 Network.
Pac-12 teams definitely relevant nationally. The ABCA poll each week. USC in there at number 19 this last week. Oregon at 15. Washington started as high as 3. They're at 14. UCLA has been on kind of a steady climb. Utah, they were rising until dropping their last few matches, and Stanford's been a steady presence, receiving number 1 votes throughout much of the season, in at number 2 currently. So there's your rankings of Pac-12 teams inside the top 25. Kevin Hambley doesn't care about the rankings. He cares about how his team is playing. Right now he's feeling it. Oh, House of Pain. That's going back to when he was on the national team. Back to action here in Wells Fargo Arena. Kevin Barnett courtside. Thanks for joining us on a Friday. Arizona State playing some of the best volleyball they've played all season long, doing it against the number 1 team. Backslide, Peterson dug in again. Backslide again, indeed. This one down the line, good for a kill. Fitzmaurice has 11. What an opportunity for Stanford with Utah having lost 3 straight, including tonight. Stanford can really move ahead at 11-0 in conference play. Just a few matches ago, Utah was right there, 1 game back. They were 7-1, and Stanford was 8-0. But a 3-0 and 0-3 run will really help the team that's winning. And that's the Stanford Cardinal. Cardinal lost control at the 12-point mark of that 3rd set. It was a 10-2 run that set the tone and allowed the win for ASU in the 3rd. Net violation and a big one on the way up. Boy, you hate that. That's when you start to feel like a tuna fish or perhaps an illegally captured dolphin. Get your hands stuck in that on the way up, it can really hurt. That one missed wide. Boy, service errors for Stanford. 16 of them. That might be a bit much, even with the 5 aces. Perhaps a point of emphasis for Stanford as they go to Arizona next. Whoa, that was way inside the block and still well inside the court by Catherine Plummer. Angles you're not used to seeing in the women's game. Plummer with 21. Beautiful defense from Fitzmaurice as Plummer puts that one in the net. How about the middle playing right back? Perfect tip coverage. Courtney Luffel will come back in. Luffel's been quite effective. 10 double dig performances in the season, just in the DS role. Ooh. Alade shelling the ASU defense. Carl back in, look and see if they might go to her out of the middle back. You know you need a side out, I might give it to her. Serve out of bounds, takes him off the hook there. So still within 5 is Arizona State. Moretta Lutz. Back to the middle, if only for a moment. Able to run a double quick when your opposite has middle hitting experience. Gap back one. Beautiful play. Not something most teams can throw at you. Kevin Hambley said, we've been throwing little wrinkles in here and there with the national picture in mind, with December in mind. We experiment with a few different things. I think that's one of those things, that double quick. Olade tips over the top, gets the kill. Cardinal have one of the best offensive spreads in the Pac-12. They hit at 297, which is first in the conference, and they limit their opponents to 173, which is first in the conference. But tonight, ASU has bettered that mark. They're hitting over 230. Luma Akaro is hitting well north of 400. She's shown such range, too. It hasn't just been one thing or another. It hasn't been sloppy kills. It has been angle, line, off the block, without the block, out of the middle, back, on the right side. She's been all over the place. Ball passed out of bounds. A service. That's 3 service aces now for ASU. Back to within 5. And remember that run. That run happened with one of the middles at the line in that third set. Hence, nice right hand. Oh, the chisel is there for Grovac. Grovac, 8 kills. She is second for ASU in terms of kill production. Does a good job of changing the direction of the ball at the net. That's what you have to do when you have those hands in front of you. You can't just hit straight ahead. That turns into a soft block and a transition swing. OT Peterson once again in there with the ball a little bit tight. 17-11. Lutz out in the back row. In to serve comes Sydney Wilson. 11 varsity letters as a high school player. Hence with the dig. Akaro blocked back. Point Stanford. So Wilson will head to the line once again. Here's a player that has letters in volleyball, soccer, beach volleyball, taekwondo, ski racing, and ultimate frisbee. That's a letter sport in Ontario. That's like the Elon Musk of volleyball players right there. Just into everything. I love it. That ball out of bounds. And the wheels coming off here in the fourth. There's the timeout. 19-11. Our score. Stanford solidly ahead. I mentioned that Stanford, when you talk about them, you have to think about the national picture, not just the Pac-12 picture. So let's look at that national picture. Right now, here's my potential top 4. If I had to pick it right now, Penn State, Stanford, Minnesota, and you probably go Texas, although you get some argument about putting a third Big Ten team in there. Nebraska could make a case to be a top 4 seed. Wisconsin, I think they're a future here. They have some matches ahead, including another one against Penn State, where they could, in fact, put themselves in a position to be top 4. Kentucky or Florida in the SEC could get in that conversation. I think Kansas would probably want to be included in there as well as a potential top 4 seed and perhaps regional host. And you want to be able to do that. Now the regional finals are hosted instead of being at predetermined locations, which I think was an incredible boon for the sport last year. If you watched on that round, boy, you had an opportunity to see amazing volleyball. You could not get off your couch the whole day when it was the Elite Eight. And you don't want to get off your couch on Sunday either, because you can catch a brand new episode of Sports Report. Join Mike Yam and Ashley Adamson as they break down all of the major stories from the Conference of Champions. It's Sports Report Sunday at 7. It's a good time to be on the couch and turn on the Pac-12 Network. I'm going to stick with us to the end here, see if ASU can rally at all in the fourth. Stanford's just made too many good plays, particularly in the blocking phase of the game. They now have 7 stuff blocks, many of them coming late. And many of them in this set. Another pass to the Bermuda Triangle. And another ball lost. Don't bother sending the search team. That one's gone. 20-11. More serving for Sydney Wilson. Second ace, third ace on the year. Back to back for number 21. Freshman contributors. Acaro sent back. 22-11. Well, I mentioned Vin Scully. Is it time to go to Chick Hearn? Should we put it in the fridge? Hovac with a nice backslide. One of those matches where the size and the expertise, the offense eventually gets to you. When you're facing Stanford, you're getting the maximum level of all those things. And eventually it kind of eats you up. Bad pass there, jousted to a finish for Gray. Ball is too tight to the net. One incredibly bright spot has been the defense of Nicole Peterson. 14 digs playing that right back position. Time and again we've seen her stand in, including that last rally. But Stanford, as good teams do, just wearing down ASU. Plummer back to the front row. B gets a kill past a pair of 6'6" blockers. Next up for Stanford, Sunday at Arizona. Then they'll host Oregon State and Oregon Friday, Sunday next week. As Plummer pushes the Cardinal to a match point. For ASU, we'll get Cal on Sunday. I'll be back for that match. Hope you tune in, 11 a.m. local. And they'll be at USC and UCLA Friday and Saturday the following week. Plummer for the match. Her 23rd kill. And a convincing fourth set off of a very difficult third. The national champions hit 410 for the match and hit 545 for the set, and that wins every single time. Arizona State acquitted themselves well. They hit 208 for the match, led by Aluma Acaro, who hits 300, has 19 kills, but in the end, Kevin Hambley with the aforementioned Catherine Plummer, but also contributions from Fitzmaurice and Lutz, 11 kills each. And the Cardinal